What is going on, Diablo 2 fans? Dobrunsky here, and today I'm going to be breaking down what I think are some of the coolest reworked items for the highly anticipated upcoming private server Diablo 2 mod called Project Diablo 2. Now, I got a Reddit link in the description below if you want to take a look at all of the reworked items so far. There's too many to cover in this entire video, so I just want to highlight what I think are the single coolest items, talk about some of their potential uses, or maybe why they were reworked, just a little bit of kind of discussion. So hopefully you guys enjoy this video, and a quick reminder, if you guys enjoy my YouTube content, I stream twice a week on Twitch where we talk about this mod, Diablo 4, playing a lot of Diablo 2, so if you guys like my stuff, maybe hit me up with a follow, I'd really appreciate it. But guys, hope you enjoy this video. Let's jump in.
Looking for bail.
So starting off with the first item, go big or go home, we have the Annie Charm. Now it's kind of similar to vanilla D2. They got rid of the 10 to 20 attribute spawn and instead replaced it with a varying life and varying mana roll, so 50 to 100. Again, that is boostable by battle orders, and same with the mana, 25 to 50. And you still have the 10 to 20 resistances and the 5 to 10% experience gain, so it's slightly stronger considering, say, if you get like 100 life and then a really nice CTA. I'm not quite sure exactly what changes have been made to battle orders, but this is a cool change in Annie Charm. Not significantly stronger, not really significantly weaker than kind of your standard LOD Annie Charm. Next up, we have Crown of Ages. Now this one is really reworked in what I think is going to make it a lot stronger and used a lot more often, because typically Crown of Ages is not a really kind of highly sought after PVM item. I think maybe for like a really tanky H-Gen, it's really good for PvP with 2 burr runs, but typically your standard PVM setup is not generally too sought after, but it is still indestructible. It has varying defense roll and varying resistance roll, so that's similar, and same with varying DR, 10 to 15, that's all the same. But the really big standout kind of switch here is instead of being 1 to all skills, they got rid of that and they added 75% reduced curse duration. So I think this makes Crown of Ages in PD2 a really, really powerful item, because you're going to be knocking off like Decrep doing Bale Running or amp damage, even like curses and tier mapping, depending on how, you know, juiced up the monsters are in tier mapping. We really don't know yet because it's kind of like a month out from when the actual private server mod drops, but I think that 75% cursed reduced duration makes Crown of Ages very powerful compared to the vanilla D2 COA. Kira's Guardian is a really cool rework. I really like this because, let's be honest, Kira's Guardian is really almost never used outside of an Uber build to kind of stack a lot of resistances for the Conviction Aura, or maybe just a nice kind of playthrough way of kind of capping res and getting Cannot Be Frozen, but any endgame tier build never uses this setup. But they reworked it in a way that you still have Cannot Be Frozen, still have a massive boost of resistances, although it is 25 to 45, so that's a little bit less than the perfect 60. But they added a varying stat roll of -5 to -10 enemy cold resistance, -5 to -10 enemy lightning res, and same with fire, -5 to -10. So I think that it makes Kira's a little bit more kind of desirable to use on a sorceress build, because it's not quite a Griffin's, and you don't have the skills and the extra plus lightning damage as well as the higher boost of minus enemy lightning res, but it does have a lot of all resistances. So maybe depending on your build and your gear, I mean, again, I don't know if like tier mapping has like Conviction Aura from monsters, but you might want to use this over a Griffin, sacrificing a little bit of damage for an extra boost in resistances. So I thought this was a really cool one, and that's definitely why I wanted to highlight it, because I think they're trying to emphasize a use for Kira's Guardian in PD2 versus LOD, where it's almost never used. The next big boy item here is Man Song's Lesson. Now this is really cool because, let's be honest, in standard LOD D2, Man Song's Lesson is really just a trophy item for us hardcore railers. You get better stats from a combo of like Hodo and Spirit, you get better FCR, better resistances, FHR breakpoints, but they made Man Song's Lesson in PD2, I think, viable. Kind of that idea, concept of trying to make sorcerer staffs useful. I mean, they gave Man Song's Lesson 6 to all skills, 50 FCR, and the same 7 to 15 minus enemy cold, lightning, and fire res stats. So let's be honest, 6 to all skills, that's 1 extra versus your Hodo Spirit setup, and then 50 FCR almost matches the FCR gain from like your Spirit Hodo combo. So You're going to be lacking a little bit of resistances, but I'm sure that you can make this item even stronger with corrupting. So imagine this with like 6 open sockets. You could put a couple facets, a couple all-res jewels, and you have what is arguably as good or better than your kind of standard meta sorceress, Hodo and shield combo setup. So this is a really cool item, and if I go the route of making a sorceress in PD2, I'll probably try and hunt down an item like this. What is the most annoying aspect of using Oculus in vanilla D2? I mean, that's kind of like a huge split argument, is do you want the random teleport in Oculus or do you not? Some people love it, some people hate it. Well, guess what? In PD2, the Oculus has a 2% chance to cast level 1 teleport when struck, not 25 like standard LOD. So you are not really going to be pinged around a lot using this weapon. So considering the fact that random teleport is not really an issue, I mean, it has varying 1 to 3 all skills rolls, same 30 FCR, vitality, energy, enhanced defense, and then a varying all res stat roll. Again, I think to try and just encourage like hunting down variability and trying to find a better rolled item. And the same mana after kill and 50 to MF. So I think for a lot of meta MFing builds, this is going to be the go-to setup for your sorceress, because say you can corrupt it, put 3 open sockets in it, 3 Ist runes on top of the 50 MF, I mean the plus skills, plus res, and then hardly getting teleported around. I think that the Oculus will be kind of the kingpin standard meta MF orb for sorceress, kind of improving it over the fact that LOD, a lot of people try and avoid it just because they hate the random teleport aspect of this item. So what is the most annoying sacred armor to identify in Diablo 2? It is of course Templar's Might, but that item is reworked in PD2. It now has a varying Might aura, so rolls 4 to 8, and then 1 to all skills with FHR, and then enhanced defense versus missiles, and then varying strength and vitality stat rolls. So I think that this might not be kind of the best meta melee build, but if you think about it, level 8 Might Aura might not quite be the 300 ED of Fortitude, but then if you can corrupt it, 4 open sockets, maybe just put 4 plain 40 ED jewels, that is a lot of enhanced damage along with 1 to all skills to, you know, buff your battle orders or whatever else on your character. Really cool idea of making this item more than just that green piece of crap that nobody ever uses. Next up is the Hellfire Torch. Now, the reason why I included this is because I'm not exactly sure about what I think about the reworking of this charm. Now, I'm speculating that the reason an anti-charm was made basically the same strength or slightly stronger, and then Hellfire Torch was kind of nerfed a little bit, is I'm assuming Diablo clone event is going to be harder than Uber Tristram. I'm assuming that maybe the idea here is to just try to kind of rely on building your strength plus skills and stuff from other items and not necessarily always being like so dependent on a torch and Annie. But I think that everyone is going to want to eventually have a Hellfire Torch and an Annie anyways. So they dropped it from 3 skills to 1 to class skills, and then gave it varying life and mana and varying resistances and then light radius. So maybe the idea is to just try and redistribute the power. This isn't make or break for me. I'm just a little bit curious why with additional endgame content that they would want to drop the plus skills from 2 to 3. But I mean, it still has varying res rolls and then plus life and mana. So it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out in kind of endgame mods. But that's the reason why I wanted to include it in this list of reworked items. And the final item that I want to talk about is Wisp Projector ring. I think that this ring finally has matching stats for its rarity, and I think a lot of builds are going to be using this, especially melee characters. I think maybe kind of the idea of sort of shifting away from, you know, every caster having an SOJ, every melee build having Ravenfrost and some dual Leech Ring or whatever. I think that a lot of melee characters will use this. Now it has 1 to all skills, and then 1 to Spirit of the Barbs, a varying stat of 1 to 3, and then 1 to Heart of the Wolverine, 1 to 3. Now you might think that that doesn't mean much, but remember, if we add up all the plus skills, so say like, you know, Enigma or something, Mara's, Shaco, Arachnid's Mesh, another SOJ or whatever, Hodo Spirit, or whatever your plus skill gear is on your character, you're going to be significantly boosting that Heart of the Wolverine. So I think a lot of melee builds will probably just be casting this Heart of the Wolverine, just because it's going to give them buff to damage and attack rating, as well as kind of the Lightning Absorb and MF. It's a nice little touch, but I think that a lot of characters are going to be using Heart of the Wolverine. Now, I don't know exactly if Spirit of the Bards has been reworked. Maybe it has been. Maybe you can cast them at the same time. Again, I'm not exactly sure on that, but I think that this ring is a really cool way to cap out this video, because the 1 to all skills, summoning 2 different spirits, possibly at the same time, And then Lightning Absorb and MF makes it a very valuable ring that even casters might consider using because of the +1 dull skills instead of your standard like dual SOJ setup. Well guys, there you have it. That wraps up everything that I wanted to cover for the most interesting reworked items for Project Diablo 2. If you guys really liked this style of video, I can always do a future one on reworked runewords. If you guys are interested, just let me know in the comment section below. And as always, if you could throw a like on this video, share it, and even consider subscribing if you're new to my channel. I post new weekly content on YouTube and I stream twice a week on Twitch. So a follow on Twitch and a sub on YouTube would really be appreciated. Other than that, guys, hope you have a fan-frickin-tastic day, and I'll catch you on my next video or live stream. Peace out.